During the summer of 2023, my family joined me in France. We met in Paris. My kids really wanted to see a lot of spots in Paris that they had never had the occasion to see, even though they had been in France many times. So we decided to meet there, and we started with the Musée d'Orsay. I highly recommend that you visit the Musée d'Orsay if you ever go to Paris. I know everybody goes to the Louvre. Of course, the Louvre is wonderful. But the Musée d'Orsay is a really special place. There is a lot of sculpture and Impressionism paintings. Their special exhibits are particularly good. We spent an entire day there. There is a lot to see. You won't be bored. And there is a cafe and a restaurant. The kids really enjoyed it. And so did I, as I am a painter. There is a very wide variety of artwork. The buildings is also really magnificent. And there is a wonderful view of Paris from it. After the Musée d'Orsay, we went to the catacombs. That is definitely a very special place. A little grim, maybe, but the story is fascinating and I really recommend you go to. And after that, we went to Versailles. Versailles is not to be missed. I know that some people are not that fond of doing all the castles, and it's true that a lot of the castles, even though they are very interesting for someone who loves history, it's also, a lot of them are not, a lot of it was emptied, and so was Versailles. But they, of course, tried everything to recover a lot of the furniture. And they really do a wonderful job of highlighting everything. And I don't know what kind of army takes care of the gardens, but it's truly magnificent. That's why it was built. And it really is not to be missed. That year they had a show that highlighted all the fountains in the gardens. It really was very pretty. It was a perfect, beautiful day. We visited the apartments of Marie Antoinette as well, which was very interesting. The guide was wonderful. I'm not too much into grandiose and, I like cottages. I like little places and more humble places, but Versailles is definitely a very special place. I've been several times and I think I'll go there every time I go to Paris, really. And after that, we went back to the car and drove back down to the southwest, where the little kittens that were being taken care of by someone else for a few days were waiting for us. Their eyes are open. And then it was time to work in the garden again. And while we were in the garden, we were trying to widen a path, the one that's just in front of the stairs going back down to the lower level. And we thought we were hitting a hedge, or a stone hedge like you would put around a planter or to delineate a path. But we were in for a surprise, because it was not a hedging. We thought it was just debris, again in the paths, because they did that a lot. They would fill in paths with broken tiles, broken pottery of all sorts, even glass. But this was not what was going on. And I think it did take most of the afternoon to get rid of all that was covering what we were about to discover. So here we thought, oh, okay, it's just broken pottery. But a few minutes later, well, more than a few minutes, we discovered that it was a very large stone slab. And my husband was clearing it out, and I'm filming, and at some point I'm starting to get really worried about what we were actually discovering there, because I knew there were stone seats in the gardens, but they look very different from this. They are elevated off the ground. And I was starting to get worried, because I was seriously wondering if we were discovering a tomb and not a bench. Especially since we realized there was an engraving on it. But we have not been able to decipher what the engraving says. It's too worn out, it must be extremely old. But with the final shape of it, we decided that it must be a bench. It had to be. And maybe a couple of days later, a neighbor came down to talk to us and to meet us. And he has been living in Nontron for, I think he said 20 years. And he knew very well the old lady who owned the garden before us. And he had never seen that bench, ever. In the 20 years that he had been there, they were friends, so he would come down to the garden often when she was there. He had never seen it. So we don't know if the old lady knew it was there, but it was just too much work to keep uncovering it. We don't know. But he also said something interesting, that the garden, all the terraces there, used to be the old entrance of the town. So everybody would go through there to go up and down the city. So we are thinking it was probably a bench. And it was placed right at the top of the stairs because, well, it's a bit of a workout to go up. It's pretty steep. And so, of course, we were talking and thinking, well, what else are we going to discover? Maybe we should try to find all the bones of the garden, all the stone features that there might be. And at that point, I was still hoping that we would find a well of some sort. I haven't given up completely, but it's it's unlikely. But we'll keep looking for all the edgings, and maybe there's another stone bench somewhere, we have no idea. In the meantime, we decided to tackle the steps and wall that is supporting an old shed that fell down. The roof of the old shed is made of asbestos, that we are pretty sure of, so we need to clear out everything in front and up. The wall is crumbling, but we really want to get rid of that asbestos. We are starting the work to clear everything out. But that will be the subject of the next video. Au revoir.